Hello, ladies and gentlemen,
Coming in hot.
and welcome to episode 50 of the Stand Up Guys podcast. The Big 5-0.
Nifty 50.
I'm your host, the incomparable Zach Jones, joined in this endeavor, as always, by the Hades to my Zeus, Lester Jones.
Oh yeah, king of the underworld.
And let's see who else we got here. Ooh, the classic intro. We got the Ninth Wonder, Chocolate Thunder, licking butts and getting in guts, the ass tasting, times a wasting, having fun, eating that scrum, the phenomenal one, AJ Singh.
That is a false advertising.
Eating the scrum is the sour part of that.
I don't even know what scrum is, but I'm sure it's disgusting.
Don't play coy. Now, guys, I figured before we get into what we've been watching this week, it is episode 50, which means, we're coming up on a year, which seems crazy.
Yeah.
I can't believe we've been doing it this long. But I was wondering, just like looking over the last year, I was wondering, what you guys think when we first kind of just bandied around the idea of starting a podcast. What do you think when we actually started buying the mics and we were like, oh shit, this is actually going to be a thing? Are there things that you were surprised about when we started doing it? Do you still look forward to it, or is it something now you're just like, oh, we got to do the podcast? And is there things you want to add to it in going into the future? What are you guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I feel like I'm just getting started. Like right now, it's just like we're kind of just testing the waters. I know it's been 50 episodes, but there's a lot to evolve in this show, and just having new ideas about what I could possibly do in the future. And I'm kind of stealing some of your ideas. Like you've done the quizzes, and now I'm kind of interested in doing the quizzes too. So yeah, I'm looking forward to new ideas coming up in the podcast.
I remember being pretty nervous during the first couple, and that's kind of dissipated. But a certain nervous energy. Still sometimes on hard news weeks, I'm just I'm like, how is this going to go? This is this week was really slow news week, and just what is going to happen? It's we got to fill this out somehow.
Yeah, I feel like that too sometimes about my topics. Oh man, I just wish I could have more crazy topics. But I mean, it's just shooting the breeze and just having a conversation is fun, so.
Yeah, I think that's what I figured out is doing this show, you kind of get to have in-depth conversations that you wouldn't necessarily have outside the podcast, and definitely on just the widest variety of topics. And
yeah, that's true. We talk, pretty much anything.
Yeah, and so I really do look forward to it. Sometimes, with all of our work schedules and everything, it can be kind of stressful just to fit it in, get everything edited and out. But I really have enjoyed it, and it is something that like he said, honestly, sometimes there is a slow news week, and you're like, boy, how are we gonna squeeze a diamond out of this piece of coal this week? But I think we always find something entertaining, and that's kind of the fun of it. Is going into the future, we have talked about, and I would like to at some point for the YouTube channel just to maybe do see if we could put together just a sketch, and then shoot it separately.
Good fillers to just have separately, maybe.
And just another avenue to maybe attract eyes to the YouTube channel.
Right, it's a little more visceral, a little more what they say, viral.
Right.
Just some little maybe even short TikTok length.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I know not everybody's going to want to, you going across YouTube and you see it's just some guys sitting around some microphones.
Talking.
It's not always the most exciting thing, and a lot of people would just go, well, I can just listen to the podcast audio version of that, which is fine and cool. We love people that do that, but yeah, I guess over the next year, I'm hoping we start to get more traction on both audio and YouTube. I think our when I check in with the audio numbers, they seem to be doing just a little bit better each month. Not that they're like outrageous or anything right now, but hopefully they get a little better.
Yeah,
And hey,
little momentum, man.
hey, man, anybody who's been listening to us, we very much appreciate it. And please, please, like, give it word of mouth. Like, tell your friends about us. Share clips on social media, whatever. Every little bit helps, and we do appreciate that. Let's see. All right. Anything else about the podcast you guys can think about?
Not that I would like to see like some more little segments that we kind of pull out and like different kind of differentiate, and then those can go up kind of separately. I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah, I've kind of thought about that. Like, it is good to have like reoccurring bits, like
It breaks it up a little bit. Plus, it's like it's something that someone could just watch like 6 minutes and be done.
And I do like when occasionally we find like a movie or TV show to watch and review, not next show, but probably the show after. We'll be reviewing Loki, and those things are always fun to watch.
I'm wondering how I'm going to fit that in, man. Like, I've been watching
That's what
not
she's
very much TV. You got it in. That's what she said.
Yeah. Just keep setting yourself up. But yeah, hopefully we'll get at least 50 more out, and yeah, I can't. It's been unbelievably fast. Like I said, I can't believe it's been almost a year. It's pretty insane, and it's a lot of fun. So here is to 50 more. All right, so let's get into the small talk of the show. What have you guys been watching this week?
Lately, I've been watching YouTube like reviews of horror movies. So this guy, he has a channel called Foundflix, and he just reviews like years back, like worth of horror movies, and he just breaks them down, like the whole plot. So basically, you can watch the movie without having to watch the whole movie and being freaked out and scared. Like, you get the jump scares, you get all the plot storylines. It's fun. You're still kind of creeped out, but you can handle it. So yeah,
It's not watching it by yourself in the basement.
Yeah,
Do you watch a lot of horror movies?
I used to, but it's kind of like if you watch so much of one thing, it kind of becomes like a downer. So with this, like 20-minute clips, it feels like short, succinct, and still it hasn't taken your whole day. You haven't like been watching hours and hours of something so negative that's like kind of brought you down a little bit.
Are you able to get like legitimately scared by horror movies?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, for me, like, you can scare me with a loud noise, just like if you were to start a car and didn't know the radio was on full blast, yeah, that's going to scare the shit out of you. But like, they don't really make me like psychologically scared, Like, yeah, you can get me with a loud jump scare, I guess, and it'll startle me for a second. But just like to actually be like, oh no, what's around the corner, that kind of stuff, I'm not like that.
Oh, okay.
Man, I don't know if I should talk about it, but like, I've been trying to maximize my sleep. I've been getting really great sleep, but I've had like a couple nightmares, and they're like horrors in this last week. And so I told Zach about these, but one of them was like, there's this woman, and like I know like she stoned somebody to death, and so like she's like chained to like a pole or something, and so like we're gonna stone her to death, and I'm just like beating her on the head with this rock. And like I'm beating her, and it's obviously like it hurts, but it's not killing her. And I'm just beating her, beating her. And like she says something like, "You got to hit a lot harder than that." To I was like, "Oh fuck!" She knows what she's talking about, right? And so I just like I really start railing on her, and then like this mess party, like a chunk of her skull comes loose, so I take it off. And I'm like, I could keep beating her, but I figure like the fastest way, obviously, is just like poke my finger into her brain. Yeah. And then like she like shakes and dies. And I'm like, I woke up and like that one was horrible. And so like just yesterday I had this other one. And I was it opens with it's like me and like a number of Jews, and we're in like in this sewer evading Nazis, and like they're up to like shit, like up to their necks. It's like, it's just completely disgusting. And so eventually these Nazis come and they drag a number of them away. And then there's like me and some other survivors. And it's like, oh, that's great. And then there's these other fucking monsters in the sewer, and they're human like, but they have like praying mantis limbs, and they're like weird legs, and they're super nasty. But like they're chasing us around, and like at the end, like somehow I end up on this building, and this one is like talking to me. He's like, "Hey, baby." I was like, "Oh god!" And like I end up like committing suicide off of this building just to escape this. It's like, oh,
Sounds
these
like you were
are
about to get laid.
these are awful. Why am I having these?
I actually want to see this movie.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's got like a
oh.
Starship Troopers type bug thing.
But I was reading like there's this weird thing like when you're having dreams, like part of your brain shuts off. Like you don't actually feel fear while you're dreaming, but like when
That's
you
not true.
no, it says it's basically like that system shut off. So you have the dream and you're not afraid during the dream, and then you wake up and immediately like your adrenaline and everything kicks in, and then you're scared shitless. It's like the second you like come out of it is when it really punches you.
But I feel like when you have, in the rare occasion I've had like sleep paralysis, like I'm pretty fucking scared as it's going on.
Right, and I've had some where I'm pretty sure like I was terrified during, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Because I mean they measure brainwaves and they study this stuff, so I'm not positive.
I don't know. I'm skeptical of that. I think I've definitely been scared while dreaming, but
I definitely woken up like,
Yeah,
I guess more,
Yeah, when you wake up,
reaction.
you're terrified.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've done some lucid dreaming, and I feel like I was scared while I was still in that state, so I'm not sure.
I mean, that sounds horrifying, man. Like, I never had a dream where I was the killer. And like,
I've only started dreaming again recently because I went off coffee and started having this deep sleep. But like I used to do lucid dreaming, and there was so much violence in my dreams, man. I don't know why. It's just like sitting in there is like crazy. I don't know where it comes from exactly.
I dreamt about the things that I fear the most.
Yeah, maybe
Sucks.
that's part of it.
Yeah.
you've never had like that John Wick dream where you're just capping fools.
No, I've never been that competent in my dreams.
It's probably like some like first person shooters, but I've had dreams where I was like sniping people, and like people were coming up this hill, and I was just sniping, and one guy got like super close. And he's like, I knew I was gonna die here, and then like I just blow him away. And I'm like, oh,
I played a lot of Call of Duty. I probably should have had dreams like that.
like this is awful. It's like Tetris, but only murder.
At least you'd think it's a nightmare. Like, for some people, that's a dream.
You wake up with an erection.
Yeah. Someday.
God, when I first started this job I'm doing now, like I would just have these like anxiety dreams constantly where like I was still at work and I was like fucking things up, and it's just like my brain like couldn't shut it down, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I still every once in a while I'll have like one of those test anxiety dreams, or like
Yeah.
I'll have an army anxiety dream, and it's usually like I can't get where I'm supposed to be on time.
Yeah, I've had.
Yeah.
It's usually school for me.
It used to be work for me. Like, especially when I was younger, I'd work like 16-hour days at like Jack in the Box or something. And then like I'd start dreaming that I
You're
was still
just like,
working. Yeah. I'd be-
oh, time to go to work.
yeah, I mean, you should get paid to have dreams about work. It's like you're there during your dream shift too.
Right. I've definitely done that where I dreamed like I was at school forever, and then like my alarm went off, I had to get up and go to school.
Yeah.
Hey, am I imagining this, or did you tell me a story once where like you worked at a place that had like a pool in it and like some kid drowned in it?
Yeah. So I worked at a gym, and it was weird. Like, this kid came in, and me and this other guy were talking, and he told me like in front of him, he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go in the pool and I'm gonna hold my breath for a long time. Don't try to stop me. If anybody tries to stop me, stop them, because I know what I'm doing."
Yeah.
I was like, all right, well, whatever. And like, I'm talking to the guy at the desk, and time goes by, guy's doing whatever he's doing in the pool, and eventually somebody knocks on the glass, and to get our attention. And they point at him, and he's like, I think they had already taken him out of the pool by then, and like he was unconscious, not talking. And they tried to give him CPR, it didn't work. Like bile came out, and his body, he was like kind of bluish in the face. His parents, they were surprised when they came in the next day to like do a review and everything. Like, I guess they didn't expect it. So I don't know if he was actually suicidal.
No,
I think he was actually just trying to hold his breath for a long time.
No, it's dangerous, and I've done that by myself, and it's probably stupid. Because basically what happens is like, you go under, you come up, and you're taking deep breaths, and you're getting all this oxygen. Well, you get like what do they call it when you breathe too heavy and you get too much oxygen in your blood.
It's like some poisoning. I forgot what it's called. Not oxygen poisoning.
Well, it's like an excess of oxygen. I forget what it's called, but basically you can pass out without any warning. So it's pretty dangerous. There's a magician, Blaine. I don't remember.
Oh, David Blaine.
David Blaine. Basically, he was training to do this, and he said he almost died because you get all this oxygen in your blood. That way you can hold your breath for a long time, and you went down and you can pass out. And so basically, you should be doing the opposite. You should be like, hey, keep an eye on me. I'm going to be holding my breath down here. But if if I go limp, if I look like I pass out, you need to get my ass out of there because I'm dying. But yeah, I've done that by myself, like just seeing how long I could build up holding my breath and stuff. And I got over like a couple minutes, but yeah, it's pretty dangerous.
Yeah, I think David Blaine did like a long time holding his breath.
Yeah, he did very long. I think he might have set a record even. Like it was a good stretch.
But yeah, this guy, like, this was obviously a sad situation, but the manager at the club was so heartless. Like, people were lined up in front of the window, like, holy cow, this guy died. And the cops were shooing them off, like, hey, stop over here. But the general manager was just at his desk trying to sell somebody a membership while this was all going on. I was just like, man, dude, really?
Yeah, you can do other things.
Yeah, and like, there were customers who were like, yeah, but I can still work out, right? Like, like, we're closing the gym, man. Somebody just died in the pool. Like,
well, like, certain people are just psychopaths. Like, it's not, it doesn't register with them.
Yeah. Yeah, people are crazy, man.
So what else are you guys watching?
Loki, man. And honestly, like, I don't know if it's like, was that called? The new show bias? Latest show bias?
Right.
But I can't tell if I like Loki or WandaVision more at this point. WandaVision was full of intrigue, and Loki kind of lays out the plot like, you still have mysterious like ideas about the show. We still don't know everything about it, But with Loki, like, it does put it out there for you, so that's pretty straightforward. Except like you are each episode wondering what's going to happen next. So there's a lot of intrigue in that sense.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, good show. It's got a great story so far, and yeah, Tom Hiddleston is getting paid $1 million an episode for this show.
Nice. Suzanne.
Nice
making money.
Yeah.
So,
man, a lot of people were like making a big deal out of him being bisexual in this, and like people were like in mythology, he like turned into like it was like either a female horse or a deer or something, and then had another horse or deer come fuck him.
Yeah.
And he gave birth to this like 6-legged animal.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's a little weirder than bisexual.
Yeah. He gave birth to, so Hela is one of his kids. A giant snake, Jormungandr, I think, is his child.
Right, and Thor fights that.
Yeah.
Right.
And Fenrir, the wolf, is also actually his child.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm not sure if I knew that one.
He's got some wild sexual...
He's got some predilections.
Wait, so in like real Nordic mythology, Hela is actually his daughter?
Oh, I don't know about Nordic mythology. I know that in the first like Marvel storylines, Hela is his daughter.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So you actually probably know more Marvel shit than I do.
I've been consuming Marvel stuff like on YouTube. Like these guys who know more than me about it, they like just feed the information into my brain.
What about you? You watch anything this week besides Ghostbusters?
I've been rewatching some Broad City, but other than that, not too much.
I've never really watched Broad City, so you like it quite a bit, or
I like that. So there's like two main chicks on there, and they just like they're completely willing to just be nasty and do whatever. And I'm just like, I like that sort of humor, I guess.
you like them nasty women?
Nasty chicks.
Would Trump?
That
would
one
Trump
chick
say?
really fucking goes for it, man. Like it's over the top.
Yeah, I haven't watched a ton of shit this week. I started and watched a couple episodes of Black Lightning season 4, I believe.
Oh, I
on
got season
Netflix.
4?
Yeah,
That's on Pornhub.
the good version.
They got like better actors in the porn version. I
And
wish
the-
they'd stop banging and just get to the story already.
This doesn't advance the story at all.
And then I rewatched. Solo, a Star Wars story. Have you guys watched that one? It's like young Han Solo.
No, I was leery. I've seen it on there, but
Well, the thing is, like, a lot of people are like derisive about it and don't like it. I don't think it's terrible. I think it's just kind of like a mediocre movie. Like, it's fine.
It's hard to replace
Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
That's not even my problem with it. But the thing about it is like, even though it's just kind of like a so-so movie, like at the end, there is like one unresolved storyline involving Emilia Clarke's character that like they originally must have planned to make like another one.
Right.
And it actually disappoints me that they did, because that movie, like, it was plagued with problems. Like, they switched directors like midway through the movie, so it cost more to make, and then it didn't perform very well at the box office. And I think like that performance of that movie is kind of what made them like switch to doing more Star Wars television shows than movies. But like, I still think like they got a lot of good things going for them, like Emilia Clarke, and they got
Two good things.
there you go. And then you got Donald Glover as Lando, and he did a good job. Like, they could at least do something with him. Like, even if they wanted to finish that plot thread in a TV show, like, I would be fine with that. But to just like leave it and like leave like good actors on the table, it doesn't make sense to me.
So I don't know much about the Han Solo movie. Who plays Han Solo?
God, he's got a weird name. It's like
did the trivia already.
it's like Aiden Ehrenreich or something like that.
Oh, I never heard of it. Is he charismatic at all?
He does a fine job. Like, I wouldn't say like he's really like copying Harrison Ford's mannerisms or anything, which I guess is fine. You probably wouldn't want to do that. Alden Ehrenreich, I think. It's a weird name.
It's like back in Hollywood where they made you be named like Jones or Smith or something.
I'm sure he's been in other stuff, but I don't think I've actually seen him in other things.
I've seen his picture. I don't remember seeing him in anything else.
So I mean, like, is his acting any good?
It's fine. Like,
Okay.
it's totally passable.
Okay.
The movie just, I don't know. It's okay. Like I said, it's not going to knock your socks off or anything, but it's okay. And when it ends the way it ends, you go, oh, I do want to see that play out. Like, I definitely liked it enough that I want to see the plot thread that they left, concluded.
Okay.
So,
Is Emilia Clarke like? What is she in this movie?
So, like, she was like his kind of first love interest, and like something at the beginning of the movie kind of splits them apart, and then later on, like years later, they meet back up, and like, yeah, I don't want to spoil too much, but yeah, that's basically it. Like, they're
So that's why he
Love
was like
interest.
so half-assed about Princess Leia.
maybe.
It's like, I know. I've had better.
Is Lando bisexual too?
You know what's weird is when the movie came out, like, I saw an article that said something about like the movie like says he's bisexual or something. I didn't really get that from the movie. Like, if they mention it, it's like so fast and offhand that I missed it.
Yeah, I thought I heard something about him being bisexual, but yeah, I don't know if he would actually.
Like, he's got this female droid, and like she has this one weird line where she like implies that like maybe like they could have a like relationship or something. So maybe he bangs robot. He's gonna get electro gonorrhea, the noisy killer.
They have to make a new initial for whatever he is.
Hey,
Robosexual.
that's true, man. Once they get fuckable robots, are we going to have to be like, oh, I'm both heterosexual and robosexual? All right. Should we... man, we're like 25 minutes in. Should we get this?
That's a good start for us.
No, it is. It is. Yeah, it was a slow news week anyway. So yeah, if episode 50 is your first episode, basically we just try to find entertaining news stories. Usually, a lot of times, news stories that are kind of off the beaten path and weird. Unless we got a good mainstream story to talk about, then we'll do that. But AJ, why don't we see what you have? Because as tradition dictates, we usually start with you.
All right. Straight out of a Conjuring movie, police in Lackawanna County announced they broke up. Oh my gosh, a Home Depot. They broke up a exorcism that happened inside a Home Depot in Dixon County Tuesday. The paranormal incident happened around 3:26 Monday when police were called to reports of disorderly people in the store's lumber aisle. Once they arrived, police said a group was reportedly performing an exorcism for the dead trees within the aisle. The department's Facebook post has upwards of 300 comments and 746 shares, with some people commenting that the group really wanted to take possession of that lumber. So stupid. The group was later escorted out by police, and no arrests were announced. So yeah, possession on wood.
Like if I was a cop and I got called to that, I'd just start beating people with a fucking baton. Be like, you need to learn something here.
Who's offended by this? I'd be like, this is stupid, but I don't care. Like,
you might have just like beat the manager, whoever called you to the scene. Yeah. They're like, why the fuck am I here?
Yeah, an exorcism for trees? Like, that's childish. I don't know if you need to call the cops for that.
What are you going to accomplish?
Yeah, unless the exorcism was like some real gory shit. They're like sacrificing goats and stuff.
So performing a crucifixion in there.
Yeah.
You know, it's weird because like when we were kids, like the small town we grew up in, like. One of the big industries was like logging. There was a sawmill. Our dad worked, all his life in a sawmill, and like back then, like you heard a lot of animosity towards like environmentalists and tree huggers.
Yeah.
But then, like as the years went on, and like everything became more digital, and we just used as a society way less paper.
Well, that was part of it, but I think at the time, like we started allowing Canadians to bring in wood. And so it killed the market a little bit.
But what I'm getting at is like eventually like you stopped hearing quite as much animosity because there just wasn't as much trees, and so it like surprises me that there's these people that are like so into trees, they're like doing an exorcism about the dead wood, dead trees.
Yeah,
I was like, are there like I know there's environmentalists like, and definitely like we're in favor of curbing climate change and things like that. But like I didn't know there was like the real into tree people still out there.
But even more so, this is like even more niche than that, because like
it is.
I get that you care about trees, but in this case, you're worried that the tree's soul is corrupted by evil.
Shouldn't that have left when the tree died?
Yeah. And so it's like another even weirder level into this weird, man. Exorcism.
They're getting like big nails from the nail section and doing like stigmata.
nail this tree to another tree.
What's your plan? You know you're not going to accomplish anything. Are you hoping to go to jail?
I bet the employees are like rattling the shelves, like, "Oh, you're getting them."
Just hoping that you get a little bit of attention.
Yeah, I don't know what they're trying to accomplish. I mean, if you really think you're accomplishing something with this, then you have to perform exorcisms on everything that's ever existed.
Door to door.
Yeah. I mean, just do the whole Earth at once then.
Yeah, just psychotic people.
Yeah.
Should we go and see what's going on with Manifesto Round 1?
Moving on, the nation has not met their vaccination goals, so federal vaccination effort will go door to door to get people COVID-19 shots.
That sounds like a bad idea.
That sounds like an
Yeah.
awful idea. Like, why are they spending my money to do this? If someone doesn't want a shot, let them die. It's okay. I'm okay with them dying. You don't need my money to just let them go.
The thing is, like, I want everyone to be vaccinated, but, like, the people that aren't vaccinated, like, I don't think maybe a couple old people are like, yeah, I couldn't get out, and so maybe they would allow this. But most of the people that aren't vaccinated, they just don't want to get vaccinated.
I mean, if they want to pack up and go to an old folks home or something,
That might be better.
you know, okay, whatever. But yeah, it just seems like nonsense. It's wasting money.
Yeah, I just feel like there's going to be trouble, too. Like, if you go to a door where somebody's like, I ain't doing that.
Yeah, Billy Joe has a shotgun.
Exactly.
Exactly.
They are gonna run into that kind of shit.
buddy.
And like also like if someone came to my door and said they were like from the government and offered me a vaccine or whatever, I'd be so leery of it. I'd be like,
That's a good idea. Maybe I should put on a suit and just like get some heroin. Here you go, buddy. See you tomorrow.
Kidding me? People will be waiting at their doors for you to come back.
All right, you can come back the next day, but it costs money.
So yeah, God. Are they going to do that everywhere, or are they just rolling it out in certain
I don't know.
places?
Maybe it'll get shut down. It's just like,
It's a bad idea.
yeah, it's a bad idea.
Was that it for this one? That one, I mean.
Good enough.
Well, guys, it's that time again for the trivia portion of the show.
Ooh, trivia.
Oh, I love it. As long as I can do it.
Yeah.
Now,
We've been pretty miserably bad at the trivia portion of the show.
I was going to do this one a little differently because this one I got like different
Hand
categories.
jobs for the winner.
Come on.
You know how to incentivize.
No, I have different topics, and so I was going to each have you pick a number, and I think I'll still do this that correlates to a category, and then I was going to have one person does the category they picked, and if they can't get one, the other person gets a chance to steal. But then what I found out is not each category has the same number of questions in it, so isn't really fair because it would give someone. So what I'm going to do is I'm still going to have you pick a number between 1 and 9, which will correlate to a certain category, but then we'll just do these questions like I have these past couple weeks, where each question you guys get a chance at it. So yeah, pick a number between 1 and 9, each of you.
7.
5.
Okay.
Everybody pick 7.
Oh, 5 might be an easy one. This category
Okay.
is kid-friendly trivia questions.
Ooh.
But
I have kids.
these are open to both of you. And,
Oh, okay.
and I'm actually keeping score this time.
Can we ask kid aggressive questions?
On the farm, what is a kid?
A goat.
Oh, Lester gets the point.
Ooh, official tally marks.
If I can get the pen to keep working. There we go. Okay. In Little Red Riding Hood, who does the wolf dress up as?
Grandma.
Ooh, AJ
I
gets
knew
the
that one.
I said it faster.
I wish you would have picked this category because people listening are like, oh, God. Stars and Stripes is the nickname of the flag of which country?
America. United States of America.
Okay, since you... Who is the patron saint of Ireland?
Damn it, I think I should know
St.
this.
Patrick.
There you go. There you go. You got to think like a kid. How many colors are there in the rainbow?
7.
That is correct. 7. What color is a ruby?
Red.
I feel like that was so close. I'll just call it a tie. In the poem Humpty Dumpty, where was Humpty when he fell?
A wall.
That's correct.
All right. Well, these are really easy.
Let's see what Number 7 brings.
Who was the first president of the United States?
George
Washington.
Washington.
Again, that was so close. I'll do it all the time. What were Jack and Jill going up the hill to fetch?
A bucket of water.
A pail. I'll allow it. What country is responsible for creating the Olympic Games?
Greece.
Yes. Okay, so that's all for those ones. So let's see, category 7. Is going to be animal trivia. What is the loudest animal on Earth?
The sperm whale.
Damn it.
Oh man, he's right. You knew that too?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Like if you're close enough, it can actually kill you.
How many hearts does an octopus have?
7.
Your answer?
2.
Close. 3.
I just assumed it wasn't 1.
The unicorn is the national animal of which country?
Damn, that's a tough one. Russia.
Chad.
Scotland.
Really interesting.
What are the folds of skin on a cat's ears called? Labia. No.
No idea.
You have a guess?
No clue.
Oh my God. Jeez, I would have accepted either Henry's pockets or cutaneous marginal pouches.
Damn.
Oh, cutaneous marginal pouches, of course.
Yeah.
A group of ravens is known as what?
Murder.
Do you have an answer?
I would have thought murder too.
See, that's what I thought,
Is
but I
it
think that's
crows?
crows.
Is it Congress?
It's an unkindness.
I
Oh,
think I have
whoa.
heard that.
How many legs does a spider have?
8.
Ah, again, so close.
Why are some really easy? Some
I
so
know.
hard?
How long do elephant pregnancies last?
2 years.
7 months.
See, neither are technically correct, but AJ was definitely closest. 22 months.
Wow. That's a long ass time. I guess they are pretty big, so yeah.
What mammals lay eggs?
Chickens?
No, chicken's a bird, man.
Oh, they don't know.
Mammals that lay eggs. Platypus isn't a mammal, is it? That's marsupial. I don't know.
Is that your guess?
That's my closest guess.
So there's 2 possible answers. You get one because the platypus is one of them. Do you have a guess for the other one?
Possums.
The
No,
other
that's
one is
marsupial.
the spiny anteater.
Huh, interesting.
What type of animal is a Flemish giant?
Flemish. Bird?
Jellyfish?
A rabbit.
Uh,
These are kind of hard, though. Well, some of them are. The name of which African animal means river horse?
hippo?
Zebra?
It is the hippo. I would have guessed zebra, too, but it is the hippo. Oh, and that was it. So Lester just actually squeaked out a win.
Damn it!
6-5. All right, so that concludes the trivia portion of today's show. So now we'll move on to AJ's story number 2.
All right. If you've ever ordered chicken McNuggets from McDonald's only to get home and find your sauce is missing, you know how annoying it can be. That's what happened to a man in Iowa. But rather than inconvenience himself and return to McDonald's to get the sauce he requested, dig around in his fridge or pantry for less than stellar substitute, or simply eat the bite-sized chicken sans sauce, he went another way. He threatened to blow up the restaurant. Robert Goldwitzer, 42, of Ankeny, Iowa, called the McDonald's on Saturday evening after realizing they forgot his sauce, and allegedly threatened to blow up the restaurant and punch an employee. Police contacted Goldwitzer at the phone number the threat was called in from, according to a criminal complaint filed in the case, and he admitted to making the threats. Goldwitzer, who has been charged with making a false report of explosive or incendiary device, he was jailed on Saturday and was released on bond the following day. No word on whether his original ask was for barbecue, sweet and sour, honey mustard, spicy buffalo, or creamy ranch. This latest incident comes weeks after a woman went ballistic after the restaurant refused her drink request and took it upon herself to go behind the counter and attempt to make her own multi-flavored slushie. Man, people have no tolerance with fast food. Like, I get fast food employees can be annoying. I one time ordered like a Big Mac with extra sauce and it was slathered in extra sauce, like jokingly amount of sauce. But I was still like, whatever. I know
like,
that.
Yeah, I asked for it.
Yeah, you customize an order at their job, and you are asking for it. Like,
please no cum this time.
Yeah, it's a shitty job. I get it. But I mean, dang, this guy like. It's almost like you have to force these people to have that job for them to know how bad it is. Like,
yeah.
What kind of entitled person are you? They forgot your sauce and you call in a bomb threat and threaten to assault the employees.
Yeah, people are just.
Well, we might have talked about it before, but there's also like just multitudes of people that will call the cops because they're in the drive-thru and the order's taking too long,
and they don't have the food or something. They're out of it, and they'll call the cops for that.
It's like, what kind of lives did these people lead that they have like no character? They must have just got everything they ever wanted as kids or something, and so like they get bent out of shape at the slightest inconvenience.
I mean, like, do we need to have a task force for stupid shit? Like, because cops are apparently being misused by all these people. Do we need a task force that's like,
well, I mean, you can get in trouble for calling like 911 for bullshit. So I don't know where the line is drawn on that one.
We're like little bitch cops.
Bike cops.
I like the idea that the dispatcher hears the problem and they're like, oh, we'll send a bitch cop.
Ching, ching.
Yeah. He can't do anything, but hopefully he can placate.
I'm sorry, man. He like hugs it out. I was just so frustrated.
Like, you think regular cops have it bad. Bitch cops. All right. Are we prepared for Manifesto Round 2?
Well, I've done like one round and I'm already running out. Trump is suing Mark Zuckerberg and Jack Dorsey for banning his tweets and posts.
I knew there was something about this topic this week, but I never heard exactly what was going on.
Yeah, basically he's just bitching and moaning. Call the bitch, please.
I thought he was like starting his own stuff, or like he could get on like his own like what they call those apps for like conservatives where they can like.
There was that one Parler, but that got shut down for a while. I think they're back up now.
Oh, are they? I didn't hear they were back up because basically
Amazon shut them down and they had to move all their information to other servers and shit.
From what I understand, like Apple, Amazon, Google, all banded together and just like kicked them off their service.
Oh,
which I mean, if you're paying for the service, I'd still be pretty pissed off. But what the fuck are you gonna do?
But why'd they kick them off? Was there some sort of like...
Well, it was known for being like far right and a lot of like,
like violent posts.
Yeah, and like racism and shit stuff, like that,
I mean...
basically the group itself they thought was not super healthy.
Yeah. But I mean, if you want to start a far right group online, just try to weed out the violent stuff and try to keep it under control.
Yeah, and maybe if they'd done more towards that end, maybe they wouldn't got kicked off. I don't know, but
Yeah.
All right. Was that it for that one?
Yeah.
Just Trump suing people?
dry, bro. Dry.
Here's one for you. Junkie P is turning trout into meth heads. Substance abuse is a uniquely human problem. Sure, you sometimes hear about birds getting drunk on fermented berries or monkeys stealing pot brownies, but animals don't usually seek out drugs, unless you're a Central European fish. Then you'll like your water laced with a healthy dose of meth. A new study published in the Journal of Experimental Biology has found out that trout can be addicted to methamphetamines, and they don't need to get their fix from seedy dealers behind a gas station. They're literally swimming around in their drug of choice. Our results suggest that emissions of illicit drugs into freshwater ecosystems causes addiction in fish and modifies habitat preferences. The researchers, led by Pavel Horky, a behavioral ecologist from the Czech University of Life Sciences in Prague, writes, the scientists suggest that the trout's meth addiction could cause several issues on both individual and population level. The whole thing is caused by human drug problems spilling over into our waterways. Don't be too surprised if a trout offers to take your bait in return for some change. I don't know what that means. But how do you test if a trout is addicted to meth?
I'm going fishing. You better give me a fiver.
Do you plop a spoon and a syringe into an aquarium and see if they shoot up? Of course not. That would be silly. Instead, you just set up 2 aquariums, one infused with a delicate LaCroix level touch of meth, and see which one the fish prefer. At least that's what Horky and his team did. They placed 40 brown trout into a fish tank whose water contained the same level of meth that's found in natural streams. After 8 weeks of chilling and getting high, the team moved the fish into a drug-free tank. Every day they checked if the fish were suffering from drug withdrawal by giving them the option between a methed and meth-less water. They also had a control group of another 40 trout who had been sober their entire lives. The results speak for themselves. Without exception, the meth-head trout went for the drugged-up water when given the choice. They were also less active than the regular trout, indicating that they could be struggling with withdrawal symptoms. The researchers also cut up the fish after the test. They discovered remnants of meth in the brains even after 10 days of exposure. Whether they ate the fish afterwards, we don't know. Seems like a waste not to, though. These writers are terrible. But what have we learned from the study, apart from the fact that the fish can become junkies? And how do the drugs get into the water in the first place? The answer to the second question is kind of gross. Meth gets into water through the pee and poop of human drug users. Where methamphetamine users are, there is also methamphetamine pollution of fresh water, Horky said. When a meth addict uses the toilet, the drugs in their system pass into the sewage. Sure, the garbage water goes through a treatment plant, but they're not designed to remove prescription drug contamination. From the treatment plants, the drug-infused water runs into natural waterways where it starts affecting wildlife. And according to Horky, turning animals into this guy's terrible. Horky explains that fish with drug addiction could start hanging around water treatment discharges to get their next fix. At the same time, they'll also be exposed to any number of other dangerous chemicals. Their addiction could also disrupt the fish's natural behavior. Who has time to mate or find food when the shakes kick in, after all? Such effects could change the functioning of a whole ecosystem, as adverse consequences are of relevance at the individuals as well as population levels. It goes on, but yeah, I just thought it was kind of... it's one of those things you don't think about, because I would think that, like, when people, like, piss and shit, like, and it gets flushed or whatever, I would think it would just, like, dissipate so much that it would be such at trace levels.
Pretty small, yeah.
But apparently there's enough of it built up that it does make it, like, a difference.
How do you know the fish don't just like shit?
But they take all the shit out of it.
Oh yeah, I guess they did the testing in the tanks though.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Crackhead fish. What does that do to people if they eat that fish? I wonder.
It might get talked about here, though.
I'm addicted to salmon.
I mean, yeah, I can't imagine like even if you ate a bunch of methed up fish that there would be enough to like really do anything to you.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They also talk about how like there's places where traces of cocaine were found in shrimp, and traces of opioids were found in mussels in the Puget Sound.
The shrimp had a screenplay too that we should all see.
But yeah, that was my stupid story. So AJ, I'll move on to you.
All right. I thought this would be fascinating until I read the end, so you're all going to deal with it too. A Philadelphia woman with two vaginas.
Be disappointed.
A Philadelphia woman with two vaginas details what her life is like and the questions she gets when people learn about her anatomy. Paige D'Angelo, 20, has taken to TikTok to explain what it's like to have two vaginas, two uteruses, and two cervixes. The 20-year-old student has uterine didelphes, a condition she's had since birth that basically means she has two fully functioning reproductive systems. In one video, which has 9 million views, D'Angelo explains that she experiences 2 periods in a month and can get pregnant in both sides at different times. But if that's not bonkers enough, D'Angelo will never know for sure if she's pregnant unless she takes a pregnancy test because the other side can still get a period. The downside is she's also prone to miscarriages, and if she does become pregnant, a premature baby is likely. D'Angelo also had regular periods for years, sometimes even 2 weeks, or sometimes every 2 weeks. But she wasn't diagnosed until she was 18, the first time she visited a gynecologist. People's reactions when I tell them are always funny. It's like shock, and then, what did you say? Another video of D'Angelo busts out an anatomy chart of a typical uterus and what one with uterine didelphes looks like. She says the biggest misconception about the anatomy is that there's two, but she clarifies they look very similar on the outside. So no, she does not have two separate vaginas, which I thought she would, and I was very intrigued by. She shared many other girls have DM'd her to say that they have the same issue, and that 1 in 2,000 girls has two vaginas.
Oh, so like in her case, like they're not
separate. I guess they're like in one looking vagina, but there's like actually 2 of them in there, I'm guessing. That's my understanding. I don't know for sure, but I think it looks like one vagina, but there's 2.
Now, I actually listened to a podcast once with a guy that I don't think is like a bullshitter. And he said he actually once dated a woman that had 2 vaginas, but he said like they were external, and like he said they would fool around with both of them.
Oh, okay.
And so maybe there are women like this woman and women the other way
with the 2 vaginas.
Yeah.
Dang. I mean, I was gonna sound bad, but how come we haven't seen them in porn? I would think they would be lucrative. Like,
I mean, it's probably pretty rare.
1 in 2,000.
But the 2 external ones might be super rare.
Yeah, that might
I don't
be
know.
super rare, yeah. Because, I mean, I feel like that's something, you gotta have a niche for that, porn.
Oh, man, if there was a woman with 2 external vaginas willing to do porn, she could make money. She could get paid all day.
Yes. She would be the most popular porn star ever, I think.
Now, do you think there's people with 2 buttholes?
That sucks. Well, you disagree? A woman with 2 vaginas in porn?
No, you're probably right.
That would be yeah. You don't think a woman like that would be making...
Like, you're overqualified, sorry.
She'd be making money fist over fist over fist.
2 for 1 sale.
Forget the DP. You get the tree P.
Oh, man.
Man, we're burning through. We're almost at time, though, but you got anything else for us there?
One quick little side note. So, good news. Biden says U.S. military mission in Afghanistan will end on August 31st.
Yeah, but that's also bad news at the same time because the Taliban's.
It sounds like pretty much the Taliban will be straight back in power.
Yeah, it's bad news either way.
So like 20 years and however many billions of dollars to accomplish nothing.
Yeah. I mean, that was going to happen anyway, though, I guess, because, like, there was nobody there that could take over besides them.
Thank God they spent all my money on that.
Yeah. So glad they killed, like, 500,000 people and took all our money.
Yeah, right. Everybody you killed was like you just created another radical.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Anti-U.S.
Yeah, I doubt they'll forget about this anytime soon.
Yeah.
Well, you know, they announced this some time ago, but my thought was always like, it'll be some chintzy thing where like they're like, oh, we're releasing like these troops, but these other ones are going to stay. You know, some sort of backhanded thing where it's not what you think
it says Afghanistan, so I'm wondering if like we're going to be like all along the border or something.
I know, like, at least 1,000 Afghan troops recently, like, they like completely dissolved. They were like, nope, we're not dealing with this. So, I mean, I guess the military is not even a question anymore.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But you see, it's going to be bullshit either way because, like you said, if they actually do go out, the Taliban will go back into power. So then the next Republican that runs can be like, if you elect me, we're going to go back into Afghanistan and get these terrorist Taliban back out, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just this cycle that never fucking stops. I mean...
Yeah, we went to, like, Iraq twice, right? The first time when the Gulf invasion happened.
Right.
And then, you know, later on.
You know, I a long time ago, like back when Jon Stewart hosted The Daily Show.
Oh, such a good host.
I know. I miss him. Mm-hmm. But I remember he had an interview. He had this guy on there who had written a book at the time. And he was basically talking about how, like, there's Middle Eastern countries. I think he, like, said Turkey, for example. And he's like, they have just as many Muslims there that hate our fucking guts as in other countries. Mm-hmm. But the reason, like, that Turkey doesn't fuck with us the way the other Muslim countries do is because our economy is so entwined with theirs that they wouldn't do it. And so, like, a part of me is like, that's what we should be doing. Like, we should be doing, like, economic warfare where we just, like, actually start doing so much business with these guys that, like, we can threaten to turn that pipeline off and if they don't stay in line.
I mean, it's possible, and I think that does occur. There is some, I remember some quote. Basically, in essence, if you have free trade with a country, basically those countries don't go to war because they're too entwined. They have too much to lose or gain or, you know, whatever. So,
yeah, I mean, the U.S. did that with a lot of European countries after World War II. Like when Britain was going to attack Egypt over the Suez Canal, the U.S. threatened to dump the British pound and ruin their economy. So, like, they have been able to do that in the past with countries, like especially Latin America. I think the economies there are so dependent on the U.S. that we do have a lot of power over what happens there. I think some countries go out of their way to, like, become protectionist in that sense, like to keep other economies out. I know India does that. India's economy, like, they're so protectionist of their local economy that they won't let, like, Walmart and other companies in. And that might be what you're seeing with Middle Eastern countries too here, because I know Iran has been, you know, very careful about dealings with other countries, but it has recently made a deal with China instead of, like, the U.S. to where China's funding them $400 million or $400 billion. It's a lot of money. They made a deal with China with over essentially having, like, a trade pact made with them and, like, a trade route built into their country and a port that the Chinese will use. So, I mean, the Iranians have definitely, and they know, there are reports and, like, conversations in Iran about how they just sold their country to China. So I think the mentality of these countries is that if we do business with the U.S., we'll be in a position where we don't have, like, leverage and stuff like that, where we can't get our own way.
Yeah, it's. I just gotta feel like there's got to be a better way of, like, regulating the Middle East than what we've been doing.
Sanctions are good. Just that, there are ways to get around them, but they're extreme. Like in Iran's case, they pretty much sold their country to China to get out of U.S. sanctions or like the consequences of them. So, I mean, I still think sanctions are a great way to go.
I mean, if the sanctions create that, maybe, I don't know. It's not the smartest, but
I mean, you do push them to China, but that's an extreme example, right? Like, is everybody going to do that? Is everybody going to give up their freedom just to go opposite of you?
have they necessarily given it up? Maybe they just open up a simpler market where they can make more money. I mean, that's the incentive.
But the Chinese are known to like.
I mean, would we rather them be going through China?
Not really. Yeah. But the Chinese are known to like take over if they don't get their money back too. Like, hey, we're going to take control of this port. We're going to take control. Like, so another military base.
I mean, yeah, I'm not going to say that's uncommon. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Well, we're about at time, but should we try to see if we can find a good card or two to go out on?
All right, let's do it.
If you could do anything and it was certain that you would not fail at it, what would you do and why?
A chick with 2 vaginas. You failed.
I guess I'd become like president of the world. Right?
I can't fail. I'm running for president of the world.
Yeah, I'd do it. I'd go for it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if there's just like the biggest lottery ever, I'm certain I'll won't fail at winning this lottery.
Like you could make up your own terms. You could be like, I want to rule the universe, and like, boom, you can't fail. So. Go for it.
You're right. I got to think larger.
I wouldn't like the time scale involved in that project. It's like 50 million years to the nearest galaxy.
Yeah,
I don't want to be alive for that long.
Let's see. I think we've talked about this one before. Oh, yeah, we've done this one. We're getting... I don't like that one either. If you found a cave that granted you immortality as long as you stayed inside, but the moment you stepped outside you would lose the power, would you enter the cave? Why or why not?
That would be pretty much your life right now, except that you have to go to work right now.
Yeah.
You'd be a lot better off.
Like, I would install cable and internet and electricity, all that stuff in this cave.
That's the thing, is like, how much can you alter this cave?
Yeah. Is all we have is like blackness and masturbating? Because I'll take that.
A lifetime. Of course, I guess you could just enter the cave as long as you want to, and then when you get tired of it, you're like, oh, okay, I'll die now.
Or like you could live your whole life, and like when you're old and falling apart, you could go into the cave and be like, all right, I'll just live here now.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, if you can fancy up this cave like you were talking about, though, that's the ultimate thing.
Yeah. You'd have to have like Tinder dates come meet you at your cave, though. Oh, I can't go outside. I'll fall apart into a pile of bones.
If you get it really pimped out, though, they won't mind coming
Yeah,
over.
that's true. This cave is legit.
Get a GoFundMe. I need a couch.
Immortal needs normal things.
It would be funny to do a GoFundMe. Is like, yeah, I need a mattress, guys.
You know how much it costs to get delivered to this cave?
That's the thing. That's the other thing is like, yeah, you can live there as long as you want and not die, but like you're not making money.
Yeah.
You got whatever you went in there with.
Start a webcam, you know?
There you go.
There's got to be a way.
Can watch my OnlyFans for eternity.
Yeah. Your fans just keep dying off. You get new ones.
Well, I think that's going to be about as good as it's going to get for this show. For good old episode 50. Anyway, for anybody who listened to this episode, I don't know if episode 50 was our best episode, but it was certainly a episode.
It started strong.
It was
half
one
was
of our
good.
episodes. Yeah.
But anyway,
it was an episode.
if you joined us for this episode, thank you very much. I hope you'll go into our back catalog if you haven't already and see if you can find some gems in there. And join us all the way and for the next 50 episodes till we reach number 100 about a year from now. Anyway, well, the other thing you can do, of course, the old rigmarole is like, subscribe, leave comments, all that good stuff. And why not, just for the hell of it, follow us on the social media. Guys, where can people find you on the Twitter?
I am at a name for this too, and that's the number 2.
I'm drunk. At unsolicited SEG.
And you can find me at Zach Jones Live. That's ZachJonesLive. And that is going to do it for all of our shenanigans and poppycock this week. Please, please, please tune in again next week. Thank you guys. Bye.
Take care.
Have a good one.